Welcome to GamerGab, a podcast by gamers for gamer. We're your hosts, Coda and Ryguy. Today we're joined by our guest, Josh, as we venture out of the digital world that we normally partake in and into the tabletop world. We'll be focusing mostly on D&D and some other tabletop systems as well. Will probably come up, but the main focus will be D&D today. Before that, any of you guys a D&D player? If you are, what's your favorite character that you've ever played? If you aren't, are you interested in playing and you just haven't had the opportunity? Let us know in the comments down below. Really appreciate the engagement. So Josh, I heard you've been running a long-running game, or maybe long. For the first time, you ended a campaign. How is that like for you as being the, I guess, DM in this case?
It feels pretty good, like especially to close like an ADHD loop kind of thing. Like, just like it's like, oh, I don't have to think about that anymore. So it's pretty nice and like just from starting to end, like finishing something. It feels really good. It's been I've been playing for 25 plus years and have never finished my own campain.
Oh, wow.
You've played in campaigns that have ended.
I've run campaigns for about that long. Have never succinctly like finished a campaign.
This is a very new experience then.
Yeah.
Very interesting experience, I imagine. Just sitting there kind of going, wow, that's over now. I can't imagine. That's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention as well, Rye, our co-host here, he's actually one of the players in that campaign. Is long-running, well, not long-running, I guess, since you said 25 years in some of them, but a good length campaign. And it's very interesting. How was it for you as a player to finally like have an end?
I've never been a part of a campaign that came to a natural, like a
proper
conclusive
conclusion?
end. Like we've had, I guess so and so can't show up anymore, and so and so moved away now, so the campaign's over. Not because we came to a story conclusion, but because
something else,
circumstances.
Yeah.
Right. It was fun. I was in a interesting position where one of my character, the character that I initially made for the campaign, I had written out for different reasons, one of which was cognitive load. I've learned that I probably shouldn't play a high-level cleric because that's too many spells to consider in every mission.
Especially for you who likes to make sure you got the right move.
I like to feel like I've got the right tool set. Yeah.
Now then there's too many tools.
Although, and we'll get into this later, I probably could have used the cohesion to be like, actually, I prepared this spell. Never even considered that until the game's already over. That's too bad.
Next game.
But yeah, but it was fun. Having kind of a side character at the end of a story, I was able to more enjoy the conclusion for what I'll call the main characters, and just kind of enjoy what they like their through line for the whole thing. Like the character that I ended up playing and ending the campaign with had some amount of input and was a part of the party and part of the story. Just didn't have nearly as much investment in a bunch of what was going on because they weren't there laying the groundwork for it. They were just there, riding along for getting it done, kind of thing. Although I will say the last session that we had for the campaign, where we did like recap and kind of post credit scenes of, okay, this is what this character did and this is what this character went on to do. I had lots of fun figuring out what my character went off to go and do and how he stayed involved with the group in some sort of cursory manner or kept them close in his mind. Yeah. You mentioned that you've been playing D&D for 25 years, Josh. If you had to guess, how much of that have I been one of the play? Not all for all of your games, but like, I guess this goes back to like, how long have we been friends? Because I met you via being a game master for a LARP. That's when we first met.
Yeah. For the first 6 years was just like high school, which I didn't know you.
Right.
6 or 7 years. And so yeah, so minus that.
So almost 20 years, but not quite.
Pretty much, yeah.
Closer to like
Yeah.
15. So interesting. Yeah, never finished a campaign.
It's crazy. That is crazy. Although,
It
like,
usually wasn't like it wasn't ever on specifically Josh, I'll say, as to why a campaign never ended. In most cases, it was because the group we were playing with didn't stick together to finish something out. Whether circumstances or problem players that we just phased out. Or
I was gonna say, I
whatever
feel
else.
like as an outsider, well, I dabbled, but as mostly an outsider, I feel like as someone who just hears about D&D campaigns, and like aside from like the live streamed ones, like Critical Role, for example, most campaigns seem to just slowly kind of fade and don't actually have that conclusion. What I always often hear.
That's my understanding.
It seems like the commonplace thing. So to have one that actually ended is kind of neat.
It's the exception, not the rule. I think for the majority of D&D.
That's what I'm saying. Like aside from like where it's sort of their job, I guess in a way, to do it, like in Critical Role and others. That's the only one I can think off the top of my head at the moment, where their whole thing is to do the thing and then to come to the completion, because that's the series, the episode, the whatever.
Yeah.
At most, I feel like home run ones, they just it slowly fades away for various reasons. So it's neat. I'm not even a player, and I could just imagine like the bittersweet feelings of it. Like, holy crap, we finally came to a full conclusion. But now I'm also not there anymore. Like, yeah, it's interesting. And I have to imagine for you as the DM, it's a very similar idea. You spent so many hours over the entire series to craft that world, the experience, the lore, everything, and now to just kind of be like, I almost like I am equating it to almost like how an author writes a book. They're so involved, they're so there, and then suddenly now they're like they've come to the conclusion, they've ended the thing. Kind of like you said, your ADHD loop is now done. You don't have to think about it anymore. But at the same time, it's like you have that empty space now. So I have to imagine it's kind of like that. It's a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like the cool thing is like with any book, you can pick it back up and you can be like, "Oh, I'll reread this," but instead of rereading something, we can just go back into that setting and be like, "Let's continue the story. Let's see like where the different threads are and stuff."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there might be a Sneaky Bleaks 2 campaign.
5 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not like 5 years later real life. I meant like 5 years later in the game.
Oh, 5 years later in real life is optimistic.
We've already got another campaign that we'd put on hold that we're hoping to finish.
Yeah,
that one I think I'll be more bittersweet. I'm not upset about this one ending.
Yes,
a ton. Like I liked. It's not like I have to say goodbye to the players that I've been playing with, because we have another campaign we're jumping right back into. I'll still be able to hang out with those people, and a bunch of the characters in this campaign that we finished, they were fun and they were interesting, but I never got like super attached to them. I mean, Pamper Mule, I'll be sad to see go, as an NPC, or Pavlov, the demon dog kind of thing. But when this next campaign that we're going to try and bring to an end ends, I think I'll be pretty sad to see some of the player characters be done, right? Like I don't imagine they'll be back for more, including my own, which I've written into 3 different campaigns. He might actually see the end of one.
So what you're saying is
see.
he's a multi-universal traveler, omnipotent being, multiple galaxies.
I'm not getting into the weeds too deep. I don't think he's ever jumped dimensions or timelines or anything. I think Josh is, because it's been
Oh,
mostly homebrew setting, Josh has just been like, no, it's the same world. He's just moving over a continent or
so he's
something
got
like
the
that.
very
Yep.
minimum. He's got teleportation abilities somewhere.
He's generally ends up with a bag of money and can pay a wizard to get him somewhere.
Ah,
I
okay,
think
okay. We've explained it in the lore. I love it.
That was our explanation as to how he got into this most recent campaign. It was like, how did he get over here? Well, he didn't want to be where he was, and so he paid a wizard to get him the hell out of there.
How'd he get back? Well,
Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh.
It's a little mixed. Same diff. Same diff. Either way, a clear-cut new campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess to kind of give a little bit of context, we talked about, or I mentioned a campaign that we're getting back to, which kind of leads into this. Like, how and why did this campaign that we ended, we'll call it the Bleak Street campaign. Otherwise, we're going to be back and forth and never know which campaign we're talking about. Yeah, how did the Bleak Street campaign come to be?
So yeah, we had our like sort of main campaign that had been going on for quite a few years. There was a lot of instances where we didn't have everyone together, and there were some like big points, kind of like inflection points, and I wanted to like keep playing like a game kind of thing. So yeah, one of our players wanted to play like an assassin like character. He just, and for some reason that just kind of got me thinking about this kind of game. And I'm like, well, yeah, like we could kind of do this, and like, oh, we could do it in this style, so like could be like an off game or something like that. And so yeah, we made the yeah, the sneaky bleak. Sorry, I didn't call it the same name as you did.
Sneaky Bleak Street.
Sneaky Bleak Street. It's like a thief campaign, kind of like scoundrelly. It was kind of influenced by a lot by Blades in the Dark. Which is it's a very like heist centered kind of system, like TTRPG system and setting. So it's kind of like based on that. There's some like mechanics that even kind of came in through that into D&D, which like they're not similar systems at all, but just some of the ideas. And yeah, it just kind of grew from there. We just decided to make it sort of our mainstay campaign for the moment, just focusing on one campaign. And then yeah, we started it and then finished it.
Yeah, I think we were playing the Seas campaign and the Thief campaign kind of in tandem for, we were talking about it earlier, like 6-ish
Yes.
months. And then it
Yes.
finally came to be that either not enough people could be around consistently, or you yourself wanted just focus on one thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was just me, but like yeah, like I think someone else like kind of brought it up, and they're like, it might just be easier just like focus on just like one thing rather than having to like remember 2 different campaigns, 2 different characters, like a lot of stuff. So which I think is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Makes
I
sense
think
to me.
in most cases we were trying to play every week, but with scheduling and things, it probably averaged out to 2 sessions a month, right? Like
yeah, I think yeah, average
play session.
yeah.
Yeah.
The we were kind of lucky, I don't know. I designed it in a way that even when I was at work, hopefully my work's not watching this, but that I could do the downtime sessions. So when we weren't in like actual play, we were kind of doing these in between mission sessions. So yeah, it was just kind of easy to do that way, and that way we could kind of keep playing even if it wasn't like progressing sort of the action, I guess, forward. It was still progressing, like you're still in the story, you're still thinking about things that are going on, doing some stuff outside of the individual episodes, I guess. So yeah.
Interesting. I don't like I've partaken in like one. We were kind of discussing this before we started recording, and I like the idea of sort of the downtime one, where you kind of just sort of, because I gotta imagine like even on for everybody, it's a little bit easier. Like for you, it's got to be easier because there's probably a little bit less setup, a little bit less intricate stuff going on. You can kind of not take a day off per se, but like, relax a little bit. And
Yeah.
it still doesn't necessarily directly, like you said, doesn't directly progress anything, but like you get character progression, I guess, if you will, party progression, perhaps. That's a neat idea. I like that.
In a normal campaign, you kind of have those downtimes like fairly naturally,
Mhm.
and sometimes the players just don't really move forward with the story. I'm playing in a Shadowrun campaign right now, and we are notorious for taking more time in real life than what is how quick the game is going. Like it's phenomenal. Like how good we are at stalling. So it's just like talking, but it's like it's a lot of fun, like kind of thing. And our game master doesn't have to do a lot of prep because he is just
you guys are milking whatever he's left prepared for you.
yeah, he's like, I don't have to make up anything because I'm like way ahead. Like
Yeah, I just sit back and watch you guys mull everything over.
Yeah,
And,
which is nice.
I was gonna say, I gotta imagine from a DM perspective as well, like that must, like, on one hand, I suppose you'd be like, okay, come on guys, let's go. I got the fucking cool thing set up for you. Let's get there.
Yep.
But on the other hand, you get that, like you said, he's just way ahead. He doesn't have to worry as hard. He doesn't have to spend as much time all at once. And it's also going to be kind of satisfying to have them explore the world that you've created to such depth, and just watching them find all these weird little intricacies, and hell, come up with some random crap that you're like, yeah, sure, let's roll for that. Cool, you found a rat. I don't know.
Well, and that's where like a lot of interesting kind of like role play happens.
Yeah.
Like in the sort of like lull, like when there isn't action, because they're kind of like recapping and talking about and trying to figure things out of how they want to deal with things. So just some cool stuff comes up there. So
Yeah.
Well, it's just like if you're watching a TV show, you don't see a lot of characters have interpersonal communication and development in the middle of a battle scene. It's the pre-battle scene or the post-battle scene that they sit down together and connect over some shit, right?
It's true.
In D&D, like you were saying, there can be a tendency for some players, and not all. I think there's a lot that are trying to jump from action point to action point, but at least in our group, we have a tendency to be like, okay, let's drag this post battle scene on for the next 3 to 5 sessions. And it's like, okay, well, it's dragged on to 3 in-game days of you guys not getting on with shit,
and there are pros and cons of that because like if something goes on too long, you kind of stop losing the thread of like what you were doing in the first place. But if you do let that go on for like a bit longer, like you can develop your characters together in interesting ways. So it's a fine line.
Well, that's what I was saying. There's gonna be that some point where you're just like, okay, well, let's explore that wall, or let's talk about this, and your DM's just like, there's nothing. Let's go.
I mean, I just do that sometimes. I'd be like, okay, you guys need to make decisions right now.
Yeah, because
otherwise,
in my limited play, I had the same thing. And our GM or he'd be like, okay, do you guys want to do anything? Like, he's just letting us have the door open just in case we do. And then we're just doing like the most mundane things because we're all like, okay, there must be like some kind of secret we got to figure out, right? And sometimes there just isn't. He'd be like, guys, there's nothing happening. It's okay. We can go.
Yeah.
You guys good to go? Because there's like, you're not gonna find anything. There's no secrets hidden here. we can move on. Oh, okay.
Critical Role has the infamous chair from season or campaign 2. Yeah. Where the I don't remember how long it happened, but I want to say they spent 20 to 30 minutes at least trying to figure out what happened in a room, and there happened to be a chair that the DM had described in said room. And unfortunately for the DM, because of the situation and the context, the chair just happened to be one of the only things in the room of note beyond some evidence of something having happened there. And the players zoomed in on this chair. They were like, focused. It's the only thing. It's got to be important. It's got to be something. And it turned out it was just a chair.
Yeah.
But now, of course, we've got a running joke with that show where they can, call back on that. So it creates fun, memorable.
Is this a chair? Yeah.
Do you think, was there ever a time in this campaign, Josh, that we had a chair moment? Or was, like, our game is a little bit, the way that it runs is a little bit different. Like, there wasn't a lot of time for cooling off in the middle of a session that we were playing, not just doing downtime stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like puzzles you guys didn't get, and I just kind of had to like, it's like it's fine. Like,
you've somehow discovered the answer. All right. You just DM that in there somehow. So you mentioned that this sort of, kind of on the timeline of timelines, long-standing games and all that stuff, and you were saying this started as sort of a desire for, what was it you said, specifically spy or thief or something?
Yeah, like scoundrel kind of thief. Yeah.
In the middle of another campaign, which you guys are eventually going to go back to finalize that one as well. So how long did this one last for then? Like from the beginning of it to the end of this, and would you consider that short or long or about average?
Yeah.
I have something to tack onto that. How long did it last real world? And then I don't even know as a player. How long did it last in game?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll
That's
give
a good point.
all of that information.
Yeah.
And my calendar isn't up to date in here, but I don't know if you guys can see this screen or not.
Oh yeah, we're all here.
Anyway, nice. Look at this. I even have a little calendar thin icon here. But anyway, I'll go into that in a bit. But so real life time IRL. 2.5 years roughly. So that we're playing. So we're trying to play every Friday. Every second Friday is like the average of what we did.
Yeah, especially for your first bit, I guess, there, because you were doing both.
Yeah, however, this one was a little bit like easier because I could do the downtime actions when I was less available, just because of my schedule.
And this campaign was specifically designed that if like some players couldn't show up, you were still willing to do a downtime action with the two people that could be there.
Yeah, with the downtime, it didn't matter how many people were there for downtime. And for each individual session, we played with about like three people was about a quorum. We had about 5-ish players, so that fluctuated like at times. So we did. I calculated about 50 sessions, like 50 play sessions, like mission sessions, where like they're dropped in, they do, like they have an objective, they complete it, and then they get out. So it does say 43 weeks here of in-game time, so it's probably I think it's technically like 44. So it's about like a good amount of a year. So like 3/4 of a year of in-game time. So each mission took place during the week, and then the downtime was like the rest of the week. So it'd be like your mission, you do like a few hours a week for your mission, and then it's presumed with the rest of your time, and like time, it's timey-wimey, so it doesn't really matter.
It's
But
two and
yeah,
a
so
half
yeah,
IRL and just shy of a year in the game.
yes, yeah.
Cool.
So, and I would say, 2.5 years of IRL time for a campaign is pretty good. Like, you can have more or less. If it's gonna go longer, I'm kind of thinking you want to play more. So, for example, like the Critical Role folks, they play like every Thursday. Like, they're very good about that, and that kind of keeps them in the setting. They are maintaining momentum.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, the
If they're
longer you
shorter,
take, the more you sort of pulled out of it you are, I guess, because you got to like
yeah,
recap yourself every time. Be like, where am I? What's happening? Oh
yeah,
yeah, I'm
exactly.
invested for this reason at this point. And yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So there's, I know of people who have like had campaigns running for like a decade, but like go back to it like once a year,
Ugh,
and I can't imagine
I
that.
can't
But
imagine that either.
but yeah. So,
That'd be like me
yeah.
trying
No,
to play fucking like
loading up
Cyberpunk
Valheim.
2077 and then trying to follow the story and only playing it once a year. Like what? That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
There's some people
Exactly.
that can play
Huh?
games like that. I am
Yeah.
not one of them. If I
No.
put a
Yeah.
game down longer than 2 weeks,
I think
I'm
we all
just
have
starting
ADHD though.
I'm just starting a new run.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Some version of
But,
idiosyncrasy involved.
The
Yes.
the ADHD in gaming episode is coming up later. So, or sorry, that's every episode here, I think. But anyway.
yes, the derailment is very real. Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, I would say that's like a good amount of time. Like that's a good of IRL time. In-game time, it doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't matter how long in-game you're
That's
like.
all up to context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Are
It's
you
like,
guys trying to? Is the entire campaign trying to survive a siege? Okay, well then it might only be in game a week, whether or not you played
yeah.
real life 3 years, right? Like you
100
just
Years
might
War
be milking every
reenactment.
minute.
Go.
Yeah, you could have like a 24 style campaign where it's like, this is a day, make every moment count.
Yeah, I
Well-
gotta imagine it's like games or stories where they can just advance, be like, okay, and we have to do this, and then it cuts 4 weeks later, and then you're
Yep.
in the thing, right? You could probably easily do that in the game. Same idea,
Yeah.
same concept.
But like if you're running like a tactical game like D&D, combat takes a long time, so you're running
it's every 5 seconds or something.
yes, a round is supposed to take about 6 seconds. You
Okay.
can stretch that. But like we've run combats that have run the entire 2 to 4 hours of like mission time. Like we start a combat, usually it's like because we're just doing one combat, it's a more complicated combat. But we also got to pretty high level too. I don't think I told if anyone's familiar with D&D, they started at about level 5, I think, and they got to level 16 or something.
Plus some extras that you
yes,
baked in for our overpowered.
I know a little bit, but only because of Ryan talking about it and stuff like that, but also because I forgot to close my door. Hello, cat. Excuse me. All of a sudden, everything at once. But also because of I just forgot the name of the game. Ryan, help me.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Having obviously very much a lot of influence of D&D just in a game format, right?
Well, it is D&D.
Effectively, it's just called something else.
Yeah, no,
it's Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gate. I mean,
yeah.
It is
I haven't
in the
played
D&D
it.
setting.
I didn't know if they
But-
were allowed to because of copyrights and things like that. So I
Oh, no, it's
assumed it was
Wizards
just
of the Coast. Wizards
Oh, no,
of the
it is.
Coast
Yeah, what am I
directly
talking
involved
about?
with all of that. Yes.
Never
Yeah.
mind. Yes. Yes. All right, cat.
Yeah, if
Hello.
anyone,
Lay
I
down.
guess that's a good kind of like thing. Like if people don't know if they are gonna like D&D or not, like try out Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate.
that's a good point.
3, I think, is the one
Yes.
that is the newest one. It is very faithful to the current system even. There are differences, and also it does all the math for you.
Yeah.
So,
There's
yeah,
definitely
there-
some video game
There's a few things.
allowances or changes to the Baldur's Gate, like
Yeah.
the crunchy system, like the
Yes.
combat stuffs. But for the most part,
They gotta smooth it out for gameplay reasons, or like
Yes.
in a digital format rather. But yeah, I have enjoyed that game. So I can only imagine I would enjoy something like this.
Yeah, imagine much more freedom, but you have to do all the math.
I could do some of the math. I'm sure the DM could do some of it for me.
Yeah, exactly. You could, yeah, depending on the game, the DM can kind of just do it all. So it just depends what kind of game you're in.
Okay,
Sure.
so you're saying
depends
so
on
this
what kind
one,
of DM you have.
yeah, that's true. So this campaign you'd say was probably about average in length, like for like IRL length, I should say.
But it
It's
just
very
depends
hard
what.
to gauge.
Yeah, like I think if you're gonna like
A healthy.
so this
Let's
was
put it healthy then. Healthy.
a full campaign. So this is sort of like a big like arc kind of thing, and able to kind of like develop your characters and like the story through it. You can have mini campaigns, so like just like small like just very simple like A to B kind of like plot kind of things, and that can just be over like 8 sessions or something like that. Rather
You can
than
have
the
You can have a one shot like the Seas campaign that became our main campaign that is still trying to be finished to this day.
it's a 5-year long one shot. Because there are one shots. I did run a one shot for UNAT.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Holy crap! Memory unlock.
No, yeah, core memory. But
Yeah, Em was
yeah,
along
no,
for that too.
yeah, because I just wanted like it's like, oh
Whoa.
yeah, this is kind of what D&D's like, kind of thing. It was very goofy.
That was fun.
Not
I enjoyed that.
serious.
I totally. I like you literally just said that, and I was like, it just. Oof. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I had lots of fun with that. Yeah, especially because of the visual aiding elements for my fucking ADHD brain really helps. Because it's like I have something. I have something to latch to, if you will.
Yeah.
Working with Roll20, I find that helps quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the pleasure of playing with Josh in person for D&D for a bunch of time. Like most of our D&D, I guess it's probably closer to half now.
Mm-hmm.
But we started playing in person with a group of people around the table, and that was the one thing that I kept bugging Josh for. Like there'd be moments where Josh was like, "No, this is just theater of the mind," and I was like, "No, no, no, no. Get a napkin out. Draw me I need to see where people are. How
My
it's
theater
partly
of the
how
mind
I
is
comprehend."
not the same.
It's like I'll imagine it. You just need to give me dots and lines on a paper, and then I'll extrapolate it from that onto what the battlefield looks like or the building that we're infiltrating or whatever it might be, right? Yeah. No, Josh, draw me a map. I need a map. So yes, being on Roll20 and that being kind of a like almost prerequisite. Like you don't need to. I guess you could just throw players on a page with a inspirational image for like here's the castle that you guys are invading, and then do the rest theater of mind via voice.
And we have done that in this campaign, so
yeah. But in most cases, there was a grid, and there were things.
I guess that kind of leads into this next question I had, which was, is there anything you would like to do more of, or like tools to utilize, or something like that that you maybe just didn't have the time or don't have the knowledge to utilize yet?
I guess just like luckily Roll20 is like pretty nice. Like I just have a lot of experience with it. There are other VTTs though, virtual tabletops. So Foundry's a pretty popular one because it's
I've heard of that one actually.
Very moddable. So if you're like good at like inputting these like kind of scripts and like putting things
hire
together.
Someone too.
yeah, or just like copy and paste it from like other people's like stuff was what I would probably do, but there's still like a lot of like work in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could make like a very like cool like kind of custom campaign. Roll20 is a little bit more streamlined, but like it's only so good. It's kind of like capped by like its own kind of things.
Right.
I will say though, Roll20 has been coming out with like a lot of really cool features lately. So and I just learned about API scripts. I should have known this the entire time. They're so good. I might introduce them into a bunch of campaigns because holy crap, it just makes everything go so much smoother.
All
yeah,
just takes out some of that.
Features.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
hashtag
to make
sponsored
fire.
Roll20.
Look,
Oh, yeah,
I
look
can
at
make
that.
fire.
Yeah, I mean that's not like a feature that I like.
But it is a
But
feature that they added.
it is a feature that they added. Yeah, it's like I didn't need that.
It's just like soundboards
What-
on Discord.
I will say, when they first added it, we were like, "Oh, cool! My fireball can have an effect." And then immediately, all of the players were like,
just fireball, fire,
yeah.
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 Burn
It was
the
like,
world.
"Oh, this is the Discord soundboard. I gotta mute this shit."
Yeah, that's funny. So there is some new things that you've discovered that you're you're
I am
interested in actually
looking
utilizing.
forward
That's neat.
to seeing you utilize the API scripts with the next bit, like being able to have some more, like instead of having to say, "Hey Josh, take us to," just like clicking around as a player going to a scene that I want to see to remind myself of something, and I don't necessarily have to drag the whole party there because they might have had something else that they were looking at on a different scene, right?
Yeah.
That'll be kind of cool.
Yeah. But no, there's definitely
we did have some minor like scripts written for some roles and stuff for like specifically downtime actions. There was the gambling.
You can have macros,
or macros. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and we're lucky enough to have one of the players who's got a background in coding, so it'd be like, "Hey, how do we make this happen?" And he would quickly write something up, copy paste it for us.
And I mean, we could do that too. He's just smarter.
He just knows. I
He's
don't have to go
quicker.
on a Google.
He's more efficient at it because he knows some of those things. And he's just like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, it would be a Google adventure for me. For him, it's just like, how do I speak this language? Okay, type of thing up. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes sense.
I imagine it's all Java based, but I actually don't know. That's beyond me. David, get in the comments.
True.
If you've listened this far, I'll know.
That's true. Do it.
Yeah. So, looking back on this campaign, if you had to pick some favorite moments, not saying you need to pick like the favorite, because for me personally, it's somebody asked me
it's
what's
gonna
my
be
favorite,
different, right?
and then I list 10 different things.
Oh,
I can't pick a singular favorite. Right.
Right.
But like some things that happened in the campaign. What would be some of your favorite things?
Great question. Also, same amount of stalling and vamping that I would do until I find something that can trigger my memory. So I think I did like sort of so this takes place in like a dark fantasy kind of world. Like there's basically a spiritual infection that is kind of like a big part of the world. That's where the word bleak comes from. Everyone, I don't know, this might just be like a little bit of part of my world. I think Ryan has commented on it before, but like everyone's like kind of an asshole. Or like kind of like looking out for themselves. But I'm also really goofy and pretty chill. So it's hard for me not to just be like, oh yeah, like this guy is like fine with whatever you're doing. So like the goofy things are fun. The players basically set up a pretzel empire. There's an arena where they had like fights and stuff in it. And in this arena, obviously you'd want to have concessions and stuff. So
Get your pretzels here.
yeah. So they decided like,
awesome.
oh well, we need to corner the market on that. That's going to be our scoundrel grift for some reason, even though they were actually doing like a business. So they were just doing a business basically, but like they weren't doing anything illegal.
Hey, look, the mafias
They
run
all-
real businesses too. I mean,
I think
Yeah.
we muscled out some competition at some point or something.
Sure.
I think there was
some poor
some
shirt sellers or something, but
there's some mafia stuff
Yeah.
on the outside of making our pretzels empire be an empire.
Yeah.
that's
So
so
it just
funny and intriguing.
it's intriguing is I'm not sure the right word. Yeah, goofy is definitely the word. Because like obviously you can kind of set a tone if you want for a campaign. But
Ultimately, the player will go where the player wants.
well, and and
So some
the players are
limit.
a group, and they have their own, like, we all have our own dynamic together. So we're not like, I could be like, oh, like you guys all have to be like edgy, like
Yeah, how the hell do you
dark
even like?
lords.
I gotta imagine like you don't plan that session for suddenly. Okay, we're running a pretzel empire. So like, how do you even as a DM be like, okay, how the fuck do I shoehorn this into the story? How do I let them do the thing, but also make it guided to some degree?
I'll
That's
jump
crazy.
in here. The beauty of the pretzel thing was that was I don't think that ever played into one of the main sessions or the mission sessions.
Oh, okay.
That was purely a downtime session
Still
invention.
fun though. Okay.
And so it often came down to like, I want to go to the arena and make money in some way, shape, or form, or I want to do a specific downtime action
Right.
that involves or that is getting some sort of goal. And then we as players would riff off of each other, would be like, okay, well, I'm going to use this skill to do this thing. And for some reason, it got thrown out there in one of the sessions. It's like, oh, I'm going to start selling pretzels at the arena and make money that way, or something. Like I don't. You maybe one of the other players would know better as to how the pretzel meme started. But it became something that one person did in one of the sessions, and then as people were doing their downtime thing, they were like, "Oh, that was funny. I want to tie that into whatever I was doing somehow." And then the next session happens, and we're like, "Oh, remember the pretzels? Yes, the pretzels. They're key to this plan." And
yeah, I was gonna say. So this is probably the best way to do it.
There's a pretzel empire.
Yeah, so this is probably the best way to do it because it's in downtime, not directly related. But
yeah,
I imagine Josh can somehow still occasionally reference it throughout.
Sure. Like we had like mechanics where you could kind of bring in narrative things into the missions, so you could do that. But yeah, no.
Man, I'm real hungry after that battle. Let's order some pretzels.
Yeah, true. Like the crazy the sort of like crazier the mission, I think, are like my favorites. So like when it's something that isn't like, you kind of have to have the mundane, like sort of uh like con a bank person out of their access to their account or something like that. That was a mission, but then there's other stuff of like, yeah, and then there's other stuff of like going inside a demonic puzzle cube and like figuring out the puzzles, like messed up puzzles in there with demons like chasing you the entire time. So like there's a dichotomy. There's and like I like the crazier ones more because that you have like your kind of what they call funhouse dungeons, which are you basically just get to do like a crazy kind of scenario or setup. And like have like mechanics that wouldn't really make sense in like a mundane kind of
just over the top craziness.
Yeah, but it makes sense in the lore,
right.
but like it only makes sense in this like very contained like happy fun ball or whatever. So yeah.
To kind of equate it to other media, it's like having sessions that were the Inception movie, where it's like, okay, now we're inside the dream, and all reality works differently. Like we can just kind of manifest things differently, or physics is different, or whatever else. Like there's some real wacky, crazy,
the mirror dimension,
thinking outside the box kind of stuff that can happen with that. I will say, as a player, I don't even remember what that session was, what we were doing, or why. I just remember we had to turn into cats, and we spent an entire mission as cats doing cat things to accomplish a goal. That's probably it's one of the most memorable, if
I was gonna
not
say
one of
that
my
sounds
like
fun.
most favorite.
Yeah, it was one
Yeah.
of the
You
earlier
start
ones
thinking about cats
too.
now as a cat.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, I never turned you guys back into cats again. I feel a little bad about it, but because like
I
everyone's just like,
know
let's be cats again.
Bryce was always a little hurt because he never got to be a cat because he missed the
Yeah,
cat session,
yeah,
and he never got
I
to.
know.
Let me see. Where do I still have it?
All
Jack
right.
Cat.
Well, in your C's
Yeah.
one-shot 2-year campaign, there's going to be a cat session now.
Yeah.
um,
I got to be Jack Cat.
so talk about this mission session stuff. That actually brings me to one of my other questions as well. How long did it take on average? Do you say to like kind of come up with a design for a mission or an episode or whatever you want to call it, like this session?
Yeah, so it'd probably be similar-ish to the session time, so like 2 to 4 hours, but I would say probably a little bit more. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
I gotta imagine it
And
changes depending on the mission as well. It's
it depends on the
complexity and
mission.
intricacies.
The kind of prep you're doing depends on the game that you're running as well.
Mm.
So this is on a virtual tabletop. So there are certain things that were like a little bit easier for me, like in automation and things like that.
Mm.
Even like finding maps. Well, I made my own maps too, so that also took a long time
Right.
because like if I found a map, it usually just didn't like
Didn't quite hit it. Yeah.
No, it's like this. I need certain like things to like be
Right.
in this. So I made my own maps. I made my own monsters. Obviously, I made my own scenarios. I had to make my own mechanics, kind of like within these scenarios. And like obviously, yeah, and then making up anything that yeah, the maps, and yeah, images, yeah, finding like monster images or NPC images or whatever. So it takes a while. It does. But that is like if I didn't like doing that, like I don't think I would GM, like I
Mm.
think, because like I like doing that. Like that's fun for me. Like it's satisfying to like get all this like together.
Yeah. And then
Sometimes
see
it
the
can
people
be
like use it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like sometimes it is like a little bit of a chore sometimes, like it feels like that,
Right.
but once you find something that you like about whatever you're doing for prep, like originally, or something you want to focus on, like as the GM, whether or not it gets delved into a lot, like it's still yeah, it tickles your brain, and when you set up something that your players get to play in, yeah, it's pretty
Mm.
satisfying because kind of players are like any best laid plan. Like it doesn't matter what you as a GM come up with, like they will do something that you do not expect, or like you could plan like a dungeon and like it's like, oh, they're going to interact with this and like this is how it's going to progress, and like you haven't played D&D. You haven't played role playing game before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you anyway,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
I
like
get you.
half the
There's some amount of open-endedness you sort of have to have for, like you said, that sort of player development,
Yeah.
the player RPG role playing of them being like, oh, what about this thing? And you got to like sometimes probably on the spot could be like, this is the thing.
well, and
or it's
and
nothing sometimes.
and there are some missions where like I've done very little prep, and some of those have been like really fun. Yeah, there's like one where I didn't have any maps. I just had pictures of them kind of they were kind of going into like a necromancer's underground laboratory library or something and stealing some books, and I only had pictures there. But it seemed to like work out pretty well, and it flowed like fairly well. And like we even kind of had like rolls and like a little bit of combat even, so like it kind of worked out well. Whereas like I could have done like a whole dungeon kind of scene, and they could have like slowly progressed through it, but because like I was kind of making things up, I was making things up on the fly because I just didn't do the prep that I wanted to do for that, or could have done, I guess.
But it still was successful enough.
Yeah, like everyone like had like a lot of fun. Yeah, so like the amount of prep doesn't always matter. So,
right. Yeah, I guess I was kind of led into the next one, was which sort of already answered there. Is I was gonna say, like, was there anything that you didn't do that much prep for, but then enjoyed? Which sounds like that was the one there.
Yeah.
But then conversely, was there anyone where you felt like you put in a lot of effort, and then it just didn't quite pan out the way that you had hoped, or it was maybe just too quick for your liking?
Right.
Like it wasn't worth the amount of effort you put in, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I'd say like puzzles sometimes, just because. So
every DM or D&D's player's worst nightmare.
Yeah, as
a puzzle.
I've been on both sides of the puzzle.
Why am I not smarter than a fifth grader? I don't understand.
Yeah, like that's a meme, like a D&D meme, and it's true. Like we sort of had like a combat puzzle, a thing where they were beneath a river in like an elemental sanctuary. They're doing like small kind of like tasks, I guess. They weren't really puzzles, I guess. And they were just like escort, and it was like an escort mission combat puzzle like thing. I was pretty involved. And that one actually worked out really good. And the reason was because I didn't really make them puzzles. I made them look like puzzles, but the answer was usually just like going from point A to point B, but like with like a little bit of a zigzag. That's all you need. Like, hopefully it doesn't pull back the curtain too much. But that's all you needed, and it was very satisfying though, because it's like, okay, like how, like in which way do you interact with this sort of challenge? And like most challenges in D&D, it doesn't matter how you approach it. Like there's no right answer. Players will plan for so long, and it does. Again,
yeah, because I guess the DM at some point can just be like, okay, we're gonna get you the answer. We're gonna. You just need to take the action. We'll, shoehorn that into the answer somehow, right?
And that's
if
that's
you
where,
really
like,
need
too
it
much.
to.
Yeah, and that's where like kind of like too much prep like kind of hurts you sometimes, because like as a GM you're kind of locked into the answer. So like it's like, okay, like I like logically like only this like kind of makes sense right now because I've set up all these kind of steps to get there. But if you just kind of like have a vague, like loose, like kind of idea of like, okay, I need to get them there. I don't really know how they're going to get to this conclusion or this solution.
Right.
But whatever. And so usually if they come up with something interesting, which usually it happens a lot, like every time, because like they'll surprise you. Your players will definitely, like you just be like, yeah, of course that will work, because like what's
why didn't I think of that? Well,
what's the alternative? Like saying like nah, that just doesn't seem.
That sounds
like,
cool, but no,
that's not smart enough.
Yeah.
Like that's not like. Yeah. And sometimes there is like ideas that are put out there that, like,
you have to navigate the maze, punch a hole through all of it. What?
Well, and I mean, like, but if that is like within the character's like strengths, like to do, and that's another good thing to do, because I see like I go on Reddit too much on the D&D Reddits, but people are like, well, like my players keep using their abilities to solve problems. Like, how do I make them stop solving the problems?
Take away their abilities?
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, yeah, it's like, okay, but then
what's the
what
point?
Do you got?
Yeah, what's the point?
Exactly.
What was the character for?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, like this character, like let them breathe, let them use the things that they're good at, and let them solve problems with it. Now, unfortunately, with puzzles, you're kind of relying on the player, and so
Not the
it doesn't
character.
always. And also, when you're doing like custom stuff, like I was doing, where I made like a custom battle puzzle, sometimes that just didn't always work out because of things like time, like just like IRL time that each thing takes. So if you, for example, give the players each like another character or two's worth of actions every round, that's going to slow the game down. That's also going to increase cognitive load, which is a real thing. That is a thing that you need to consider when playing and GMing, is how much mechanical information that you're putting down there, and maybe even sometimes narrative information. Like you could have a very intricate political setting, but if people can't look into that, it might not be worth it to play.
They lose the interest, or just so much
Yeah,
information
and it's
that
like,
they're
yeah,
unable
yeah, it's
to
like, oh,
accurately make that choice.
yes, yeah. And so like you kind of have to know your group. You kind of have to like play it by ear. Once you've played with people for a while, it's easy to kind of get their vibe, like what they're into,
right?
What their style of play is, and then like how that intersects with your own style of play.
Yeah, I have to imagine setting up as a puzzle as a DM, and then like the entire time you're just watching them. It's it's like almost a reverse chair where it's like the answer's right here, but they're just walking around it, and you're like,
and like some of the puzzles that they've done have been like they've like solved them, and it's been like pretty good. I think they solved this one.
Here comes the curtain is being pulled away 100%.
Yeah.
For any of those people who were maybe in this campaign, here's your answers.
Now, you don't need to... Yeah, well, they figured it out in the end.
Oh, they did figure this one out. Okay, well...
That's player drawings.
You don't need to know really anything about the puzzle exactly, but just know that it was sort of like a star can't be next to like leaf, and like leaf is right across from like the fire door kind of thing, and they just had to like figure that out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's that one was really fun.
That does sound fun. That one for sure.
Is there any other puzzle in this one? Not really. So like puzzle ones were kind of fun. This was a puzzle that so sometimes sessions just kind of go on too long. And when you're at the end of a session, a puzzle that say involves a musical scale and like a reference to a song that they might not like just get like right off the bat from the clues might be a little bit
I had a personal experience with this one, it sounds like.
No, I think I missed this session.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably good. Yeah, it was so it was I don't remember. So yeah,
can he solve his own puzzle?
Yeah, so how did that go?
I would have totally checked out. I guarantee you.
So it was I redid the lyrics to House of a Rising Sun, but to be in to be like lore accurate for like this like region that they're in.
Oh, neat.
So every time that they would translate one of these like demonic glyphs, they would get like sort of the poem that goes along with it. And then each time that they jumped on one of these like circles that was kind of going on, they would generate a note. And like I don't remember if I was playing the note or not, or if I was humming it. But anyway, so a musical major might find
Sure hope the DM's not tone deaf.
Right, yeah. So anyway, there was also demons attacking them, but they're pretty piddly, so like it wasn't a huge thing.
More of a distraction.
Yeah, there's a type of person that will jump into that and just like immediately start getting the idea.
Yeah.
But then there's those that listen to music in their pastime, but that is as much connected to music as they are, and will just have no idea what is being asked of them.
Yeah.
Only because I know
And I will
that
say one
song,
of the
I maybe would have picked it up. I fucking know.
one of
Depends
the
on how
most
it went.
frustrating things as a player is to walk into a situation where you feel like there is a logical way forward. Like there
Mhm.
is a path that the DM has at
But it
least
isn't.
fleshed out. But like as Josh was saying, you don't necessarily want to have only one through point or one way to solve a problem ever.
Right.
But the DM has an endpoint and an idea of like how a player might get there. To walk into one of
Yeah.
those situations and just be like, I don't even understand the question. How am I supposed to find the answer?
Yeah.
It fully deflates me. Like and at that point, keeping the player's engagement is very tricky because
Yeah.
it's just like, well, there's these demons attacking me, and I'm hopping on circles, and the DM keeps humming at me, and I don't understand what the order of operations is supposed to be. I'm just
Are these
trying to
ads that I need
survive
to
as
get
a
rid
character.
of?
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
just trying to survive as a character, and music, I guess. Like yeah.
And that's why you want to make situations. You don't want to make a story.
So that makes
like
sense.
Mhm.
Like some of
Yeah.
those puzzles, like you were saying, were worth their time. They were fun. They got there, and then some were just like you put in a bunch of effort, like, and it just didn't pan out the way you thought, and it became more frustrating than it was eventful.
Yeah, like when
Puzzles
you
hit and
think of
miss.
if your puzzle has one way of solving it, it's not a good puzzle for D&D.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want a and each like encounter, each mission is sort of like a puzzle. So like for example, I'll just make like an armory or a keep guarded by like angels or whatever. And I put like I fill out the keep, I put like soldiers, I put like sight lines, I put like things that they would have for like defenses and things like that. And then I give the players an objective and say like, you need to get in here and like steal a bunch of stuff. I don't have a solution for how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I have I just set up the situation. The players have the answers. They have the skills.
Yeah.
They have the ideas. They have the resources.
This is the conclusion of what has. This is the conclusion. You figure out the body.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Goalpost is over there. Good
Mhm.
luck.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And and like some like I'll flesh out like an entire like keep or whatever, and like some of the areas like aren't even used. Yeah, like the first floor in this was not touched. There's like a little like magic circle that would have like done something if they stepped into it, but they didn't.
Just
What
gotta
would it have done, Josh?
Keeping those secrets for next
I don't
time.
remember.
Oh, or
I
he
don't
just
remember if it
didn't
was like an
remember.
alarm or if it was like a I don't know.
Suddenly, a boss appeared. Ah!
I just put down magic circles in the GM layer, and then I think I usually know what they do ahead of time. I think I've definitely like just improvised. Like if they step here, something's gonna happen. It's not.
I'm gonna put a random circle in this totally obscure room that they will never step in. Ah, shit! Someone stepped in it.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's but yeah, the fun for
and
me
you're a
is
cat.
like
That would have been a fun callback,
like,
actually.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the fun for me. Is like I wouldn't do that because I want my thing to make like kind of a like an in-game sense to it. So for example, if there is like a character and they are walking up these like stairs here, and they would get to this sort of entry point, like this focal point that they would need to get to the rest of the keep, there would obviously like be like a defense like kind of there.
Yeah.
So and that's fun for me. And I don't like it doesn't matter if the players get it or not. It makes logical sense to me that and at least if the players question it or they're like why did they put this here? It's like I have an answer.
Yeah, you have
Because
an
everything,
answer
like,
instead of that.
makes like in-game
Mhm.
sense. Like there's an internal logic. There's there's magic in the world, so it's very easy for that like internal logic to be like very easily bendable,
Right.
which is nice for a story. That's why I think like D&D works so well, because you can just go magic and
Mhm.
it kind of solves some
Hand wavium.
problems. Yes, yeah.
It's literally what they call it in Star Citizen, for example. Totally out of this, but Star Citizen they call like the elevators aren't actually physically there. They are. It's hand wavium. You are here, and now you are here.
Yeah.
You don't actually have an elevator shaft. It's more like a personal pod.
Yeah. And like if you get people who are like invested in the setting and they ask a question and the GM says like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That I don't think that makes you feel good about
No.
being
No,
in the
as a
thing.
player, you immediately are less invested and
Oh,
are less
100%.
likely to try and get invested again because it's like, well,
Or
I'm not
to
going to
even
ask
go,
questions about things because the DM probably doesn't even know what they.
or not even that, but like if I'm getting told, well, I don't know and I don't care, then it's like, okay, well, now I'm even less invested to go and think out of the box and explore anything. Because like, what if it's just a fucking nothing burger?
Yeah. You stop
Yay.
asking questions.
Yeah.
You might think like, well, what else shouldn't I care about? Or like, is
Exactly.
there only a specific kind of thing in this campaign I should
Yeah.
care
And
about?
it becomes less about what am I discovering and more of, okay, what is the DM laid out for me?
Yeah, and I mean, you can sort of restrict like what's going on. Like, for example, like in a you have a setting, like you're not going to go outside of that setting. You're not going to like be in a fantasy setting to be like, well, what if we brought Starship Troopers into here? That's not that's not in the container.
Yeah.
And the container for this campaign was a city. So like it existed within a world, within a country, within like a political machinations that were happening outside of the country and inside of it. But this like the setting was a city, so there wasn't like the players did not really their home base was there. They kind of like left it like a little bit, but they didn't go to another city. They stayed in that one. Everything happened within this city. So
It actually would have been an interesting little episode of things if we went to another city and had to learn how a different guild was running their operations.
yeah.
You know?
Interesting. Like, yeah. Like, this stuff to me, it makes me interested in trying, in playing stuff like this, just because, like, I've played some Baldur's Gate. I enjoyed that. I did play a tabletop that was very simplistic-ish for new people's sake, because it was a bunch of new players, myself included. And it's still like, and even that one didn't have visual aids. So when I see stuff like this where there's some visual aids, I'm even more inclined because I'm very much a visual aid person. I don't know. I like moving pictures.
Yep. I'm a sucker for a map.
Yeah.
I want to know why that worked. That's there and that landed there, and why did they build this facing this way? Yeah.
Even just just having just even looking at this, like I don't know anything about this world, but just seeing that map right there, it's very intriguing to just sort of see the things and where they are and the influence of those things.
I would hazard to guess, Josh, in the creation of this city, if I'm guessing at your order of operations for how you would build this from the ground up, you did not come up with the different factions and the different NPCs and the different interactions and then build a city to fit those. You put this map down in front of yourself and then we're like, okay, so who's running the river? Who holds downtown? Well, what are these outskirts about and why would those be important? And you started asking yourself questions about the map and then filling in the blanks from there. Am I correct in that guess?
You are correct in that assumption. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is
I
how I
I
work
think
in a similar way too.
yeah,
That's
I think very similarly is like I did like kind of go like a little bit more meta like after the map was kind of down and be like,
sure.
okay, like what kind of like interesting kind of like different guilds can I have kind of thing. So I had like the bounty hunters, I had the gun runners, I had the river pirates, I had the petty thieves, I had the uh, dark cultists, but they're like chill. They're like chill dark cultists. So
No, it's okay.
yeah,
You
I
can
had
totally drink our Kool-Aid. It'll be fine.
yeah, I had sort of one of the sort of like big bads of the game, which was the thief guild that kicked these guys out, which was kind of and their entire goal for the game was to sort of either. The end goal was pretty fluid, but like they could get back into the guild, they could take over the guild, they could disassemble the guild. Something needed to happen with the thieves guild though,
Mm.
because that thieves guild was not going to they were pretty hands off, but they weren't going to allow the Bleak Street Boys, as they were called, to exist for forever. So
Mm.
And if that name doesn't give you any amount of context as to how our silly asses ended up in a grim dark setting and still made it our own,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
this is not a happy-go-lucky world of rainbows and unicorns, but
no,
we were still running pretzel empires and calling ourselves the Bleak Street Boys and doing all sorts of silly jokes things.
yeah. But yeah, the elves were like are in the north enslaving humans.
Mm.
Like it's not like a fun world to be in, but it like you can run a game like in sort of a dark like kind of setting like that, and like it's gonna be funny no matter what because
Mhm.
you're playing with your friends, you're gonna
Oh,
laugh.
there's gonna be yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yes, there's gonna be just goofs a minute. So if you have a good group, so
Yeah,
I don't know
there's
what that's like, but just kidding.
something that comes to mind, like the Fallout universe is a post-apocalyptic wasteland of people just trying to survive. But if you
Yeah.
play those games, there's all sorts of random moments where you've got uh, people pretending to be superheroes fighting guys trying to be supervillains, commanding their army of ants and stuff. Was that Fallout 4 or Fallout
That's New
New
Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas? Yeah. Just like all sorts of wacky, silly scenarios that are like, if you were to say, do you think this fits in a post-apocalyptic setting? Probably not, but if you do it correctly or
Mhm.
in 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 context to its surroundings,
Mhm.
you can have silly, fun moments in a shitty place or a
Mhm.
shitty world.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
The noir
Laughter is the
quest
best
line,
healer, or something like that.
best medicine.
Medicine.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like if you don't laugh, you might just end up going crazy.
hmm
So,
Well, for me as a player, if I were to play in a dark setting like this, and I wasn't allowed to be silly at some
at
points,
least a little bit.
at some
Yeah.
point I would get exhausted. Like I would just be like,
Yeah. Well, and
I,
well, ironically, would
I
be
need
probably what the real
s-
character would be like. Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Role playing the
yeah.
character to the T at that point. Yeah. No, it's sort of the same idea.
But at the end of the day, we're playing a game,
Mm-hmm.
and for a bunch of us, we're playing a game to escape from real world stresses
As well.
and drama
Yeah.
and whatever else might be going on. So, like, whether or not it's a grim dark setting, we as players still want to be having fun
Well, exactly.
doing whatever we're doing
And that's the
in
kind of
our
interesting
world.
part I'm thinking is like, as an actual character in that world, you would still occasionally want to have fun, however that was to be achieved,
Sure.
because you'd fucking go crazy otherwise.
Oh yeah.
So it almost it ironically works out as both for the player and in the world setting.
Yes. Yeah. Presumably, human nature still exists and functions in a similar way, even in a fantasy setting.
Mhm.
You know, there's only so much bullshit a person can deal with before they need to go out and have a drink or,
Yeah.
you know, let loose in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. So to get into the weeds a little bit within your setting, there's actually something I didn't write this down, but I was thinking about it um, just before we started recording. Something that I found hard to engage with as a player, and I'm wondering if you would do it as a DM again, is in this setting. I think humans were called humans. No, they weren't even called humans. You
They're called
changed the name. Yeah, you changed the name and the sometimes the mannerisms or like the general vibe of different races or tropes within your world. Like elves weren't your typical elf in this world, and they weren't called elves
Yes.
anymore.
No.
Humans, I think, being Manians, I think that's about the only thing that changed about them for the most part. They
Yep.
were just
Yeah,
humans,
they're like
right?
pretty
Like they were
normal. Yeah, I kept it pretty normal.
right.
But it also is I kind of said like you guys kind of just have to play Manians because like at the time I didn't really want different species. I was kind of I was inspired. It's Matthew Colville's fault because he kind of said something like you want to be able to relate to something that you can have the psychology for. And I just kind of wanted like an easier kind of like like mindset to get into. So if I had all these ideas for the Alfar or Ulfar or a Dwezgfar or Dwezgthal, yeah, I just said a bunch of words that don't make any sense. But if I have all these different ideas, I guess, for like different not like D&D things but like reimagined, and then I'm asking like players to get into them, I need to do a bit more work. So and I
And
just
they'll
had the
have
time.
a bunch of homework to do. Like you're gonna have to give
Yes.
them
Yeah.
a couple pages of like, this is what they do, this is how they
Yep.
live, this is
Yep.
what they eat.
A couple of
Yeah. Yeah.
encyclopedia D&Ds.
Yeah, I actually so I did this like recently for the mountain dwarves. Like I did their entire culture like in this setting. And it is like you would have to do like a lot of work to get into that mindset. Because it is actually just sort of a medieval Japan kind of mindset, interestingly enough. But which I don't know a lot about. I think other people here will know much more. It's inspired by that. So, yeah. So, but anyway, sorry. What was your question though? What's
Just
your
do
question?
you think that you would go that far with another setting or another campaign that you do where everything you've taken the fantasy setting of D&D and kind of used the different species or races like elves or dwarves as tent poles? Like, yeah, that guy's short and stout and lives underground. He's a dwarf. But this is different, this is different, this is different. Also, they're called something else.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would do that again in another campaign or another setting of your own?
Yes. Um, but
What would you do the
uh
same, and how do you think you would do something? What do you think you would do differently?
yeah. So, when people are familiar with the intellectual property or like the sort of like generalizations of the settings, like in Dungeons and Dragons, you know what an orc is, you know what an elf is. If you keep that the same, you don't have to do a lot of front loading and be like, it's like, yep, just like whatever you kind of think that is probably what it is. But yeah, if you do change it, you need to do a little bit more work. So you need to be like, okay, these guys have a different culture. They have like a different way of like being. So I need to tell you about that. I need you to be involved in that now and like get on board somehow. So there's going to be like a lot more like session zero making of a character's background and backstory that you're going to weave into that. So yeah, I'd do it again.
I gotta imagine it also kind of like makes it like, as a DM, you're sort of making it a little bit more your own while keeping a lot of the same elements of the campaign, campaign type you're running, which is D&T in this case. But yeah, you're modifying it to be for your specific thing, somewhat.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of I came up with my own setting for this campaign that we did, but we didn't do a lot of I didn't really tell the players what like the setting was about. I didn't really tell them I just told them humans are Manians now, kind of thing. That's about it. And like that's pretty much all it was. but there is like other things like in the setting that are kind of going on, and so like if we didn't do like a big backstory like thing for like all the characters. They gave me like a bit, and we did like the rumor thing where you give each other rumors about yourself to each other. It's a way to do like character integration beforehand. But anyway, so but yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, if you're gonna change stuff that people like don't know about or can't like read about like very easily, or just like aren't familiar with, like you need to at least have that accessible to them. Get them the books, the literature, your giant essay on their culture. But yeah, so yeah, I'm
It can also be like
gonna
interesting
do.
because like as a character, right? How do I say that? Like if I was in this scenario and you're giving me a book, how much I go and research that could aid me more than someone who didn't research as much in dealing with whatever that book was about. Like, if it's about the other race and like I'm supposed to be the negotiator of the group, I better fucking read up. Kind of scenario. Like it could aid in that. Not necessarily in your particular case. I'm just saying, like, I was just imagining, like, you could make that be a thing where the more you know as the character is actually how much you've decided to read up on the information that you gave to the players.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of like GM expectations and just like how you're running your game. If it's sort of like if you don't give them any information beforehand and everything that they're learning, they're kind of like learning kind of like on the fly, then they just they need to be expected to like kind of stick and move and like kind of like improvise their way into knowing things. Basically, it's like oh yes, I know that, so therefore, and then they just kind of keep going on with that.
Right.
But the more complex you make it, the more strange you make it, the more removed from normal like more well-known like kind of narratives or settings, like you need to do like a little bit more work, a little bit more explanation. So yeah, I would definitely yeah, if people were starting out, well, and that's the kind of funny thing, like if people don't know anything about D&D, maybe don't play D&D like with your group. Like play something that you guys know about. Like it could literally be anything. It can be, if everyone loves Twilight, play Monster Hearts. If everyone likes Starship Troopers, play Mothership. Like if there's something like familiar that people know about, like do something with that. There's a million RPG systems out there for every kind of possible game.
Yeah,
so you just need to kind of
inspirations.
pick that. So yeah.
You like Valheim? Make one about Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Play Ironsworn. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
already exists. You name a setting.
I feel like this guy knows them all.
Josh will have a pretty good idea of, or at least send you in the right direction.
Yeah, or at least tell me where to go.
Yeah. Like knowing systems and like coming up with setting stuff is an obsession for me. So
which makes you a great DM because you have so much like things to pull from.
Maybe, yeah, I can steal a lot, and I've been more comfortable in stealing things. So
that leads me into a topic that I wanted to get into.
Oh,
we talked about in our closing of this campaign, how things had gotten mechanically a little bit bloated. I think maybe that was just you and I, or maybe it was something that came up amongst the players. I don't remember.
Yeah.
How much of what you baked in, like that city map that you've got up there, right? It's got circles of influence, it's got a million different icons. What I'm not seeing there are probably because we finished them all, was there were counters on sometimes factions goals that were being going up or down, like
Yep.
there were timers on things or on
Yeah,
missions.
those were hidden.
Not all. There were some that we could see.
Kinda,
Anyway,
yep.
yeah. Anyway, there were all sorts of different mechanics around the game that were attached to or overlaid on top of D&D. Do's and don'ts there. Like, would you do this type of thing again with that many different systems kind of involved, or is there some systems that you enjoyed and would carry over, and some that you would drop, or?
Yeah. So yeah, I introduced like quite a few. So the first one that I would kind of not include, and and these are sort of like preferences. Like it depends on the game. So like
Mhm.
some things
Sure.
I'd be
The
like
players, the DM, the
like
campaign type, I imagine.
well, yeah. Like I might include a faction like timer and like faction like goals and things like that in another game, like how I did here. But I would be less inclined because of like just kind of like my experience with it in this game. It was a lot of work. And because I was kind of playing it kind of by myself, and it sort of like the players could like see what was maybe like happening narratively, but because of just like player memory and like not really like remembering what's like kind of happening all the time, like they would kind of like forget or just like not be like kind of as invested in like particular factions because some of them like didn't move as fast or like they weren't involved with them. So it was sort of like a game that I was playing underneath it of like faction war. And so yeah, that's less enticing. It was good to kind of fill out the setting like a little bit, but if I was to do it again, I would make it less mechanical and just more narrative, it being like yeah, some like they're getting up to some crazy stuff, and just like being a little bit more loosey goosey about it. Um, yeah, and then so that we did downtimes. I had a system for that. I liked it. I don't know. What did you think about the downtime? Give me your honest opinion, Ryan.
I like it. It it definitely felt like its own separate game that we were playing while still using our D&D stats.
Yeah.
Um, I like managers and like strategy games and stuff like that. So this zoom out from my character to
Okay.
what is my character like doing in the world affecting larger um, organizations or events and stuff was interesting.
Grand scale.
I tend to be a more literal thinker than hand wavy kind of stuff, and that is one thing that the downtime, like I had trouble connecting with, was like, okay, I want to do the make money action. And like, yeah, we got to have fun moments where we made pretzel empires or whatever because of those things. But it was very hard for me to just jump into one of those actions and then just start deciding what generally I was doing to make that happen. I often needed to bounce off of either you or one of the other players and something that came up to kind of get grounded and connected with what I was doing and how it was affecting the world. Like
Yeah.
if it was left up to me and you and I were just doing a downtime session on like just between the two of us, and you were like, "Oh, I can't I can't engage too much, but I'm here to roll dice with you. It truly would just come down to a mechanical like roll dice thing for me. I wouldn't. It is very hard for me to make that next step into like finding something narrative there. Maybe by the end, when I knew the result of my action after having rolled all of the dice, I might be able to make up a story going backward. But to like make a story as I'm
Gotta have an
going
anchor
forward
point.
was very tricky for me.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
and like, different players definitely like are like you, like where you're sort of like more like in your character, like what's happening sort of like now, and even the other players, like I try to kind of drill this into their heads. And I don't think that they got it the entire campaign, but like their actions the downtime actions, they have a small organization that they could lean
It
on.
wasn't
They
just
have,
your character doing the
yeah,
thing. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I got
like,
stuck in my
yeah,
character needs to be doing a
yeah,
thing.
and
It's like, no,
I,
you guys have
yeah,
hirelings and all of these factions that you've taken control of,
it's like
and
your
like
character can't possibly be doing this all themselves. And the players were like, my character does this all themselves. And I was like, okay.
you didn't
Yeah.
hear me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
So,
lackeys. Use them.
No, I was 100% that player. I
yeah.
know I was.
And that is
Because
just like,
even now, when talking about the downtime system, I was like, I couldn't figure out how my character was doing all of these things.
Your
And it
character was meant to be the manager. That's
exactly.
and part of that is just how a player can play in a game and how they probably like just normally play is like, yeah, you're a character, you're not an organization.
Yeah.
That's not natural. It might be also mechanical a little bit, so like I could have like said like, okay, like it's not your character doing this, it is like your lackeys, so like
What are they
you
doing?
like I could have like been like more explicit or like included in the mechanics, like this is how well you tell your like lackeys what to do, and made the mechanics like tell more of that story. But the mechanics worked out pretty good. Like I changed them like once in a while. The biggest one was side job that I did. Which the biggest change to this one was I just kind of like it was like I let the players create a story basically, and it was a lot of fun, and that's where like the pretzel like thing came in, and like where like they kind of do things. But so anyway, downtime. Um, yes, in the right circumstances, of course. And then there was cohesion, which was the other mechanic that I put in here. So,
That was fun to work with.
which I really, yeah, I really liked it. It probably wasn't used as much as I would have liked, but like system bloat. We were already playing high level D&D plus this system, so
On top of resource hoarders, there are a few of us players that are the type to put a potion in a bag and then look at that potion every session and go, that'd be pretty handy right now, but I might need it later.
Yeah,
That guy right there. That one right there.
Yeah, if you're creating GMs, just camera 2. Can we switch the camera? Okay. Anyway, so GMs, if you're creating a resource that you want the players to use, make it go away like very quickly.
We could have been gaining temporary cohesion. That like at
well,
the
yeah,
end of the
like,
session or at the end of
it all resets to 0 at the end. Yeah, like everything is wiped clean, so you better use it. And that was kind of a problem.
Then my
with
optimizer brain's like, well, you better use it because like this is something at hand.
Well, and that was sort of a weird problem with the cipher system that we played in for a bit. Basically, you could have 2 or 3 magic items on you at a time, essentially, in this system. So like, and you would be gaining magic items like somewhat frequently. So you would want to use them. Would be what probably the design team was thinking, but it's like, oh no, I really like this magic item, I want to save it.
Keep it for when I really need it.
Yeah,
is now the time I really need it? I don't know.
So yeah,
if we
so
could
when
make
we were
it.
doing our in-person site,
I know how Ry's thinking.
fantasy game, like people would have their favorite little ciphers, their like temporary magic items that they needed to keep on them, and they didn't want to switch them out for anything else because they're like, oh, but like I like this, but you could only have like a certain amount of them, so you had to keep using them. So kind of like potions in Slay the Spire 2. Check out the episode 5. Doesn't matter what
I
I say.
remember which one that was. Actually, it might have been 5.
This is a
close. 4.
that I haven't watched.
I was gonna say I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch this content. It's kind of boring, honestly.
So boring.
No, it's really good.
Mhm.
It's been fun seeing you guys.
But yes, potions and Slay the Spire. Back on track.
Yes. Yeah, like
I have
yeah,
a bit of the
so
same
anyway,
problem as well, so I can totally relate. I'm not nearly as bad as Rye, but I definitely have that problem.
no one as bad as Ryan in that regard. So yeah.
It's so bad
Truly-
that Ryan has designed his characters with that innate.
I was gonna say multiple characters. It's like what is one of this character's like core concepts? He's a hoarder.
He's a hoarder.
That has something for every situation.
Yeah.
Like that is one of my favorite characters, Jevin, who is we're about to go on with. Like that's one of his like core themes is that he's constantly got something for the right situation.
He's
right?
like that. He's literally the 60-year-old dad who's been holding on to that one piece of wood and then finally found a use for it.
Yes,
30 years later.
You have a garage full of shit.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, but it might work for something. Truly, at one of my favorite, and honestly, Josh, you've leaned into it with me on a few different games or a few different sessions where you've been like, okay, well, let's find and design a way to do that without having to physically have every item. Like when I think it was the Cypher system that we were playing, and that was one of my class mechanics. Was like I could reach into the bag, roll a dice, and see if I had what I needed, or
Pulled out
something
something useful or something silly.
Yeah.
I need rope, and he pulled out a rubber duck.
I mean, I believe that was kind of a possibility. It was like if I failed the roll, then I just pulled out something random instead of.
I think you had to like spend experience.
That's also fun and
for,
silly
like,
in a way.
Levels, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of, but like I mean, it would like in a if that's the kind of character you want, the sort of like I have a thing for this, which is like what you do in Cypher system is you have a what is it? It's a adjective, noun, who, verbs. So your verbs is has a thing for this would be like the verb, and that would be like part of your character's class essentially. So so they're games like that. Cypher system's a great system. Feel free to play it. I don't know. I don't need to give you people permission anyway. But back to this cohesion thing. So I stole the cohesion idea from Warhammer 3rd edition, which is the I think will probably at least be known as the weirdest of the Warhammer Fantasy editions. So people can go check that out if they want. There's a lot. It's like playing a board. Like it looks like a board game, but it is a full role playing game. It's weird, but it's really cool at the same time. I really want to play it, but anyway, doesn't matter. So cohesion. So like each group has their own kind of style. In like that, in the way that the group kind of like works together. And so for this one, like they are thieves, so they like do thievy things very well. And like whenever they gain cohesion, like whenever they like complete a mission, if because they are thieves and they didn't really want to kill necessarily like their opponents or like rivals or anything like that, they actually lost cohesion like when they would do that. They would actually gain cohesion if they tried to implicate or embarrass the rival guild. So like basically I had a mechanic that this resource that they would get for doing thief things, like scoundrel things. Did I implement this all the time? Not really, but I tried.
Did we as players remember that we were trying to do these things all the time?
Nope.
Almost never.
Couldn't remember. But anyway, that's okay. That's also system bloat, like issue, cognitive load. So just keep that in mind when you're introducing additional systems on top of D&D, an already pretty complex system.
I was gonna say, and that's also like in the same case, like you never stop learning new things for as a DM, or realizing like, oh, I did a little too much of this, and I need to do a little bit more of that. Next session, we figure that out. Yeah.
No, it's always a learning curve. And one thing that I stole from Blades in the Dark again, which this was kind of based off of, was one of their sort of like main teamwork quirks, which is active preparation. Basically, they could that way they can jump into a mission just like in Blades of the Dark, and in Blades of the Dark they call it a flashback, and basically you spend stress to be like, I already prepared for this, so I got this figured out, and you do like a flashback, sort of like in Ocean's 11 kind of thing of like, oh yeah, Danny Ocean already paid this guy off or something like that.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, and that's what the after preparation was for, because we were playing an episodic campaign where you just jump into the mission. There wasn't like a build up to deciding on like how to go about it. You were just in it.
You're just there.
So what you could decide those things kind of in retrospect. It's that probably again wasn't used as much as I was hoping, but when it was, like, it was very satisfying. People brought in things that would like just kind of make sense, or they would it's things that it's like, well, if I had time to prepare, I would have done all of this. It's like, well, then of course you did, and then you'd like lose an amount of cohesion based on the amount of prep that it would kind of take. But anyway, so yeah.
But it reminds me of like older video games. I guess there's definitely still some that do it that way, where they were like, instead of an open world situation, you would go from like mission to mission or level to level, like Hitman, for example, instead of a GTA situation. Like in Hitman, you're going from mission to mission. You just get dropped into a mission, you're given an objective, and you've got to go and complete it. In our setting, that was like, or in this way that this campaign worked, that's exactly what it was. It was like, instead of playing out the game, walking to that place, going and buying the disguise, planning out the heist, doing the all of the scouting and the what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't matter. Reconnaissance. Yes, thank you. We would just get plopped on the map somewhere on the outskirts of the castle we were trying to sneak into, and then try and figure out what was like how we were going to do that. And in situations where we couldn't figure out a way to scale the walls, and we didn't know of any other like secret entrances or whatever else, we'd either spend a cohesion to say, actually I did find a secret entrance, or actually I did pay this servant girl to keep the back door open for us at this specific time, or I paid off the guards to take a little extra time on their shift change or whatever else, and that would be our way in to.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and like and like the way that the cohesion was like kind of like used by you guys, and I guess implemented by me as well, is that like it didn't really like solve a problem, but it gave an opportunity for you to solve a problem. So it's like, okay, like we can't get into this keep because like there's no, like they're all like guarding it like from the outside, like we need a distraction, so you get like a like someone to come by in a cart, and like it distracts all the front like guys, and now they're all looking that way, and so you can like come in and like do your sneaking. So,
it wasn't like we spent cohesion and be like, okay, the commander of the keep is now dead, mission complete. Right, like, no, it's like you spent cohesion to have poison set up somewhere so that we could go and get that poison and then plant it in his food.
That reminded me of a session I did where, sorry, you're like cohesion and the boss is dead. No, we did something similar. We're all trapped, handcuffed in a room, 2 guards, and one dude basically had a stupid amount of charisma and then rolled a nat 20 and went, so, you want to let us out, finger guns? And the guy's like, yeah, no problem. We just fucking walked out. He was like,
Yeah, and
all right,
that's
cool.
I don't want to yuck your yum, but that's not a good solution. Like that's bad. Like
Right.
what happened?
Whereas cohesion comes in, and you're like, well, actually, I
no.
spend this resource, so this guy is he's in on it with us, and is more likely to
Mm-hmm.
let us out. Or
Yeah, because
Yeah,
just,
well,
like,
the
random
premise was a little
chance
bit more
decide-
complicated. It was more like he was a dopey kind of guy, and so we convinced him that we weren't the bad guys, and he was like, "Oh, that makes sense," and then let us free. And then immediately, his other buddy was like, "No, what are you doing, you idiot?" You know, like kind of like, this is the smart guy, this is the dumb guy.
Yeah,
Kind of
like
trope.
if it can if it can like make sense within the
Yeah.
fiction, and like it's believable,
Yeah.
like it's intuitive, like it just like it fits together, then yeah, that's fine.
No, but I was
Yes,
just, it was
it doesn't
sorry.
always have to be believable.
Yeah.
It can be purely because that's the fun story.
Well, that's the
Whether or
funny
not
thing.
it's believable, I think that takes a sideline to, is it a good through line?
Because that was part of it. Is our
Yes,
DM was literally, okay, we said, "Can we do this?" And he went, and then he sat there and he just started giggling to himself. And he was like, "Actually, I had this whole other scenario set up, but I have a funnier one, and so we're gonna do this." that's what resulted in that.
Yeah, you can't be too locked in, and that's why. And even as a GM, you don't want to like say like, okay, well now this is the only way you can do it because you've chosen this different path. You set up a world, set like a setting, be internally consistent within that world, set up a situation, and have that situation play out like it would, like someone would expect it would. And then when the players get involved and muck things up a bit, like that's when you create like a satisfying conclusion to the situation you've put these players in. So
Sure.
Yeah, interesting. Well,
I'm having a blast, but I think we've rambled on for quite a long time.
I was about to say the same thing. It's been a little bit. This might be like, this is, I don't know if it's going to be the longest, but maybe it's a pretty close contender, I would say, for one of our longer episodes this time around. I enjoyed pretty much all of this. It was not only was it just fun to hear all the cool, fun little intricacies about your guys' game that I wasn't a part of, but it just makes me more interested in being a part of one eventually. Like, how do I get in this? When's your next game? I want in. No.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play, but the advice for if so you need to find someone who will kind of like run a game or be part of running a game. The easiest way to find that person is to become that person, is to run the game.
Right.
Which isn't like, it might not be everyone's like interest to do that, and that's fine. Some people are interested and they just feel like, I can't do it. You kind of just have to jump in head first. Like you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to do. You're not Matt Mercer. No one is Matt Mercer. Matt Mercer isn't even Matt Mercer.
You're not Brendan
Think about that.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. But yeah, like you just kind of have to jump into it. Just get started. Like, yeah, unfortunately the advice is like, just start. And it's gonna look like, just like any skill that you do, it's gonna be sloppy and weird and awkward, but eventually when you find your footing, it'll be lots of fun, and then you'll have like friends that you've perhaps made and bonded with over time.
Crazy.
I would toss in there, with my limited experience with DMing myself, I found the most success when running a pre-made campaign, because I felt like I could just worry about learning D&D and how it works on the other side of the table, more, and less about like, oh, what does a world look like? What does a political system look like? What do NPCs and their inspirations look like? Like I always feel like I need to over prepare in a certain situation, whereas when I have a pre-made, preparing is just reading ahead.
Yeah,
And
then you could
a lot
and
of
then
the time in a pre-made, you can be like, okay, that's an interesting idea for a character, but actually, I think it's more interesting if it's
Yeah.
this way, or it's more believable if they have this, aspiration, etc. Like, take a pre-made and then go forward with that,
Yeah.
and like feel free to riff and improvise from what is laid out on the page. Like, don't use it as the Bible. Just
yeah.
use it as a
I
guideline.
if I'm running from a module, I have a hard time riffing for whatever reason. It's just like, well, no, this is set in stone kind of thing for whatever in my brain. So, but yeah, if people can do that, yeah, grab a module, grab a campaign book, a campaign setting book. The D&D ones that they've come out with are like pretty good because they're not like I like them. I don't know. I'm going to create some controversy. It's better than Pathfinder than the modules.
Whoa!
Yeah, controversy. That's what drives engagement. Pathfinder sucks. Oh, there we go. Okay, I haven't played second edition. It seems too mathy. Maybe it works really well on a VTT. But yeah, Pathfinder kind of sucks, and D&D is better, and no one on the internet thinks that. But I do. So
That's interesting.
yeah,
I didn't know that was the general consensus on the internet.
it's anyway.
I don't have my
matter.
finger on that pulse.
Yeah, it's Reddit, so who knows? But anyway, so they aren't real people. Is there anyone else I could kind of piss off right now that you guys want me to?
Without getting super political, I think we're probably good.
We're probably good.
We're
Okay.
probably
We've done good. But anyway, yeah, grab a module. They're just like a good like kind of starting point. If you need something much more structured, I would grab a Pathfinder kind of module. Play in that kind of system. They're very like kind of paint by numbers essentially. You could just like go through it and it like walks you step by step. But like how you run your campaign, what you do with what's given to you is very much in like the person who's running its ballpark. So
sure. Yeah, I find module was very much felt like running a choose your own adventure story, where like I had all of the information in front of me. It was what the players wanted to do with that information was where I needed to flip to in the book in a way.
Yeah.
The one that I ran the most was fairly linear for a good chunk of the game because everybody was trapped on a boat and that boat was not under the player's control. So boat was going to different events and locations in a very linear fashion. But what happened in the in-between or during those events was, where you had to start jumping around. It's like, which NPC did they decide to engage with? Well, shit, page 3 is so-and-so and page 57 is the other person.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the end of this episode. If you enjoyed all the rambling or information about the D&D stuff, or, just enjoyed listening to us ramble about all the interesting characters, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the notification, the bell for the notifications. If you guys were part of this D&D campaign we're talking about, get in the comments. Let us know what you guys thought about some of these questions we were asking. It might even be useful for your DM here for the next session. Who knows?
Yeah.
Never
know.
You never know.
And if you want
to, you as the viewers want to see Josh back. He's not just a TTRPG nerd. He plays the video games too. There's definitely a lot of those that we could shoot the shit about. What game were you playing earlier, Josh?
I was playing The Last Caretaker, which is a survival game. So
that's a game I know nothing about. You need to tell me all about it at some point, right?
Definitely. Yeah. My appearance fee is quite high, so like if they do get me back, like it's costing them a lot.
Yeah. We'll have to start a Patreon to get Josh back on regularly. But,
Alrighty. Well, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.